Okay, we're going to go ahead and work through this common assessment review one question at a time. Number 1 says, what are the solutions for the quadratic equation n squared minus 5n equals 14? First thing, subtract 14 from both sides. N squared minus 5n minus 14 equals 0. Factor this, n minus 7, n plus 2. Your two solutions are 7 and negative 2. Number 2, if x squared is added to negative 2x, the sum is 15. Give the values that x could be. First, write the equation. X squared is added to negative 2x. Adding a negative is just subtracting, and the sum is 15. X squared minus 2x equals 15. Subtract 15 from both sides. X squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. Factor this, x minus 5, x plus 3, and your solutions are 5 and negative 3. Number 3, solve the following by completing the square. If you're going to complete the square, you need to figure out what number to add here. The number is half of this, so you do 6 divided by 2 and square it, which is 9. Add 9. When you factor this side, x plus 3 squared equals 25, and I'm going to stop there. 4, Brian is solving the following equation by factoring. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a common factor, which is 3. And I'm only going to factor 2x squared minus x minus 15. When I factor that, it's 2x and x. I need numbers that multiply to 15, so it's 5 and 3 or 3 and 5. I need to make it add up to negative 1. So one of the ways I can do is put in a 5 here and a 3 here. I got to check and make sure that works. That gives you 5x, that gives you 6x. If I make the 6x negative, then 5x minus 6x is the answer, and those are my factors. 5 says what quantity should be added to both sides of the equation to complete the square. Same thing, take the 8, divide it by 2, and square it. This is just like number 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4, 4 squared is 16. So what do you add to both sides? You add 16. What is the quadratic formula? Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. 7 we went over in class, and I'm not going to do it again right now. 8, using the discriminant, how many solutions does this have? You're going to do b squared minus 4ac. So you can do negative 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 9. 36 minus 36 equals 0. If the discriminant equals 0, you have one solution. Write the quadratic equation whose solutions look like this. Okay, I need a. A is 2. I got that from right there. B is the opposite of this number, so that's plus 4x. And C is that last number, plus 3. That's 3 points on the common assessment. 12, what are the solutions to this quadratic equation? First, subtract 6x from both sides. I get 0 equals x squared minus 6x minus 7. I'm going to factor. I need two numbers that multiply to negative 7 that add to negative 6. X minus 7, x plus 1. So my two solutions are 7 and negative 1. 13 says what are the solutions? So I'm going to do the quadratic formula. I'm going to do negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 3 times 6. All over 2 times 3. This gives you negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 72 all over 6. That gives you negative 4 plus or minus radical negative 56 over 6. Square root of a negative doesn't exist, so the answer to this one is no solution. Number 14 is easy money. For what values of x does y equal 0? Y equals 0 here, y equals 0 here. That's negative 2 and positive 3. Skip to 15. 15 says graph this. First, I know this opens down. Then I want to find the y-intercept. The y-intercept, if I plug in 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, so you have a y-intercept of 0. X-intercept, 0 equals negative x squared plus 5x. You can use the quadratic formula, or you can factor. Neither of them is that much work on this problem. Let's say I was going to factor. I'll take out a negative x times x minus 5. And my two solutions are 0 or 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a solution. This opens down. It looks like that. 16. Write the quadratic function for a parabola that when graphed has x-intercepts at negative 4 and 3. Do the opposite, x plus 4, x minus 3. That's your equation. 17. What are the roots? The roots are negative 1, 2, 3, and positive 1. 18, write the equation in the graph below. The roots are negative 1 and negative 4. If you want the equation, you have to do the opposites, x plus 4, x plus 1, and multiply this together, you're going to get x squared plus 1x plus 4x plus 4, which is x squared plus 5x plus 4. 19, Stephanie kicked a football. The equation h equals negative 16t squared plus 54t describes the height of the ball t seconds after it's kicked. Approximately how many seconds went by before the ball hit the ground? Ground is 0. 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 54t. On this one, there's a couple ways to do this. If you divide everything by negative 16 like I showed in class, then you're going to get t squared, and you have to do 54 divided by 16. 54 divided by 16 is, I don't know, we actually got to figure that out. What is 54 divided by 16? 54 goes into 16 3 times, that's 48. 6, 0, that's 0.3, 54, 3.333. So t squared plus 3.3, sorry, minus 3.3t, and then factor t out, so you get t times t minus 3.3, and you get 3.3 as an answer, and that is the answer. 20, the height of an object h thrown at an initial velocity v at a time t is given by the formula h equals negative 16t squared plus vt. How fast should an object thrown if it is to land 6 seconds after it's thrown? Okay, if it's going to land 6 seconds after it's thrown, that means the height is 0. That means the time is 6. I don't know the velocity. So when I go through and do this math, I'm going to get negative 16 times 36 plus 6v equals 0. I'm going to have to do negative 16 times 36. What you do have to do is 16 times 36, 6, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 0, 6, 3, 486, which is 486. So you get 486, negative 486 plus 6v equals 0. Add 486 to the other side. So all you're really working with is 486 equals 6v, and then divide by 6. V equals 81. Okay. A toy rocket is launched from a platform 22 feet above the ground at a speed of 50 feet per second. The height of the rocket is in feet given is that. What is t? How high will the rocket be after 4 seconds? Put in 4 for t. H equals negative 16 times 4 squared plus 50 times 4 plus 22. This is negative 16 times 16 plus 200 plus 22. Negative 16 times 16 is negative 256 plus 200 plus 22 is negative 34. So the answer is negative 34. On the common assessment, will be an actual number. And 22, the height of a triangle is 3 inches greater than 3 times its base. The height of a triangle is 3 inches greater than 3 times its base. So this is 3 times the base plus 3, and this is the base. The area of the triangle is 63 square inches. What is the base of the triangle? So it's going to be 1/2 times b times 3b plus 3. That equals 63. The best way to do this on the common assessment is just going to be to just to plug the answers in, but for now we can do this. I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides to get rid of the 1/2, and I'm going to get, and I'll multiply on the left side. I'm going to get 3b squared plus 3b equals 126. Equals 126. I'm going to subtract 126 from both sides, and I'm going to get, right here I'm going to work it out, 3b squared plus 3b minus 126 equals 0. Since a 3 goes into each of those, I'm going to get b squared plus b equals minus 42 equals 0. Solve this as b plus 7 b minus 6 equals 0, so b equals negative 7 or b equals 6. A negative number doesn't make sense, so 6 does make sense, and 6 is the answer. 6, the base of the triangle is 6. Okay, and that's the answer.